All right, what's up, everybody? I was just browsing the internet, browsing the YouTubes, and I came across this video from CNBC with Fed Chair Jerome Powell talking about crypto, aka Bitcoin. And I thought it was an interesting video, so I'd play it and let's take a listen to it.
Assets, they're highly volatile. See Bitcoin. And therefore not really useful as a store of value, and they're not backed by anything. They're more of an asset for speculation. So they're also not particularly in use as a means of payment. It's more a speculative asset that's essentially a substitute for gold rather than for the dollar.
That was Fed Chair Jay Powell earlier this.
So you notice how they're saying crypto, I think that's part of the confusion, or maybe it's purpose confusion, where they're throwing the word crypto around instead of Bitcoin so that they can lump everything together to confuse the masses, to confuse the people. So when you see one crypto that sucks, like a shitcoin, you assume all suck, and it's hard. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of energy and research to look at these different cryptos and find out what makes them different. So I think that's one strategy from the media, from the people. They use the word crypto a lot instead of using the word Bitcoin.
This week, warning of the risks associated with cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin down about 10% this week after surging over the past year. Joining us now is Brian Brooks, former active controller of the currency. You saw my expression there, Brian. That's very perplexing to me. And I'll tell you why. Okay, I will give him the first statement, that it's highly volatile, and at this point, it's tough to use for transactions. But then he says it's not really a store of value, and then says it's essentially a substitute for gold. So the 4,000, 5,000 year store of value that we know historically is gold. And he just said it's like gold, but it's not a store of value. So does he not think gold is a store of value? And with what the Fed's doing right now, is a dollar? Is he really making the case that that's a store of value?
No, yeah. This is, people seem to be like trapping themselves, They're trying to throw all these signals out. They're trying to confuse people, but they're tripping over themselves. They're tripping over their own words. They're saying, oh, it's not a currency. It's more like gold, so that you can't use it as a currency, or so that people don't think of it as a currency or a competitor to the dollar. Then they say, oh, it's not a store of value because it's volatile. Well, you just compared it to gold. So people are talking about, they're talking out both sides of their mouth here. They're saying one thing when it's convenient, then they're saying another thing when it's convenient. The goalposts just keep shifting. Just keep shifting it. Push the agenda that they want to push. Keep making points that fits the narrative. It's such a strange thing, but if you just look at the facts, you can easily see, just like this dude's calling out.
Well, hey, Joe, you're thinking about it exactly the right way. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. So first of all, as a store of value, I would just say there's a reason people have flocked to Bitcoin in the last year, right? Which is something else happened in the last year. And that is that we increased the money supply by 40%. So when you do that in a world of supply and demand, it means that the dollar is at least a 40% less good store of value than it was a year ago. And that is one of the reasons people look to Bitcoin. But Joe, the point I really want to make is, the dollar may not actually be backed by anything. Obviously, we went off the gold standard in the Nixon administration, but cryptocurrencies actually are backed by something. They're backed by underlying networks. And what you're buying when you buy a crypto token, whether it's Bitcoin or anything else, is you're buying a piece of a financial network that's being built to transact all kinds of stuff. And the number of things that have gone on chain in the last 2 years is enormously high. That's why the cryptocurrency market today is almost a $2 trillion market. I believe in the wisdom of crowds personally, and I think that there's kind of like forces of the future at work here and then forces of the status quo. I think the crowds are telling you that these networks are where finance is going in the future. I'd want to be part of that.
There's books.
Well, see, there he goes again. This guy, he's, like Jerome Powell, throwing the word crypto out there. Not all cryptos are equal. And he's saying that, you buy into a crypto, you buy into the network. Well, doesn't the dollar have a network? It's got a lot of people behind that network as well. He also says that the dollar is not backed by anything. It's not. But the whole network is just a piece. It's just a piece of the puzzle. You can have a network behind anything. Look at the dollar. But if the value of the dollar is not backed by anything, then it's not worth anything, even with the network, because networks can come and go. So the network aspect is just a piece, and this is what people are trying to do so that they can lessen Bitcoin's value and increase other cryptos' value, like Dogecoin, right? There's a meme coin. There's a huge community behind Dogecoin. Therefore, it's valuable. Yes, there is some truth to that. You know, money's not valuable without humans. Bitcoin wouldn't be valuable without humans either. We need humans. So there is some truth to the whole network, but it's just a piece of the puzzle.
Written about the madness of crowds. That's the thing. And they always go back to tulip bulbs, et cetera. So you either love crowds or you hate them. But you point out that because Bitcoin, what was it, 2008, 2009, something like that, it's been around every transaction's on that blockchain. And because of that, that's why you think it has the most value. The first one to get to $1 trillion.
Bitcoin was the first token to show you that finance could be done on a networked basis as opposed to at the bank. There are a lot of other cryptocurrencies that have done other things with that concept, but Bitcoin was the first, and it got early adoption. So when people say, you know, gosh, it's not good for anything but speculation, I would just argue the reason that there was something like $61 billion worth of Bitcoin transacted yesterday is because that network has been adopted by people who used to go to the bank or the dealer to transact.
Brian, we'll have you back. This is the $1 trillion question. Can you fight City Hall? That's what scares. Can you fight City Hall? If Yellen and Powell decide that this is not kosher, not going to be something we accept, can they stop it, or is it already too big and too powerful and too
hey, Joe, you can
decentralized?
You can absolutely fight City Hall. Remember, every mayor and every taxi cab commissioner in America tried to stop Uber, but 50 million Americans wanted it, and now we have it. It's going to be the same thing with crypto.
No, they're throwing these things around. What I think is Bitcoin's going to be the foot in the door. You can absolutely fight City Hall, but guess what? Only Bitcoin can fight. These other cryptos, Ethereum included, none of these other cryptos can fight City Hall. But since Ethereum was highly pre-mined, there's a lot of powerful people that probably have it, and they want to have proof of stake so that they don't have to do a damn thing for the rest of their lives, and they could be in control. So they're going to use Bitcoin as the foot in the door, but really they're going to push something like Ethereum because it can be more manipulated and more controlled. The only crypto that can fight City Hall, that can fight the government, that's censorship resistant, is Bitcoin. Ethereum will only work if the large players that own Ethereum want it to work, or Dogecoin or any other coin, because they are centralized. They are pre-mined. They are not censorship resistant like Bitcoin. The only crypto that can fight the man is Bitcoin. So there's a lot of things going on here. I thought it was an interesting video, but there's a lot of twists and turns. You know, they take a little bit of truth and twist it just a little bit. And you got to have a good mind, I guess. You know, you have to have some critical thinking. You have to be able to discern or distinguish good from bad. That's up to you. Hopefully you don't fall into that trap. All right, so that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all for watching. Later.